down here at our house, and this field behind me right here is the same field that's at Grandpa's house. Our fields sit right in the middle pretty much. And as you saw, I just drove down here, but this corn right here on this outer edge is tasseling. If you can see, it's tasseling. Sorry about the wind noise. It's windy out here, but it is tasseling. This one's about to tassel there. And right here, this is a low spot, sort of right here in this, right here in the middle, you can see. But if you can see down the rows here, this corn is coming along pretty good. This is the second field we planted. So this corn is coming along pretty good. It's looking pretty nice. You can see it is pretty rolled. The reason that corn rolls like that is lack of moisture and water. It's been like 95 degrees here. Feels like 100 degrees out. And there hasn't been much rain, so the corn is rolled because it doesn't have the moisture inside of it. The beans will essentially do the same thing, just to keep whatever moisture they have in them inside of them. So that's why if you ever see corn rolled, it's lack of moisture and water. But this corn here, right by us, is tasseling. This is the second field we planted. The field across the road that I showed you coming down here was planted in like close to the end of June, I think. So it's definitely not as tall as most of the corn around us. But that is on luck, and they had it tiled and all that. So they got it in late, so that's why it is. That's why it's not as tall. I can't think of the words I want to say today. But that's how the corn around us is doing. This is the second field we planted. I'll go out and show you some beans here in a minute. But I thought I'd tell you how the corn's doing. Most of our corn has started tasseling, or it's about to. So ours is pretty tall. Most of the corn around here is pretty tall, and just fields around us. So that's how the corn's doing. I'll show you beans now. So in the beans, the water hemp has been really bad. From the beginning of the year to now, and we've had problems with it. And I guess according to Grandpa, at the beginning of the year we sprayed a residual, which will keep the water hemp that's about this tall from coming up, keep that from coming up, and keep other water hemp from coming up. But the stuff that's this tall by that early spring, it's not going to even do, because it's not a contact killer, it's a residual. So that was our first time spraying. We sprayed a residual, and then we sprayed the beans again with another residual. Our biggest things were water hemp and mare's tail. The first residual, I think we sprayed residual the first time. I think that's what it was. If not, it was a contact killer, but whatever it was, it killed the mare's tail. But the water hemp kept coming up. So then we sprayed another residual, I think, and the water hemp kept coming up. And Grandpa said that he normally only sprays it 2 times, in which he does, because I've never seen him spray it more than 2 times, I don't think. And so he had to spray it a 3rd time. So we weren't happy about that. But we sprayed it a 3rd time. And I think it was a contact killer. We just sprayed it. I think it's a contact killer. And the beans are like brownish. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but you see those like brown spots on there? Well, that contact killer, I'm not gonna say the brand, but I'm not gonna say what it was, but that contact killer was so hot that, I mean, you didn't want to put it on very strong. You didn't want to be stopped in putting it on. As you can see, I mean, it affected the volunteer corn, and that's corn. And so it burnt the beans a little bit. They're not as bad as they were yesterday or 2 days ago, but they're definitely still a little burnt. I think they're going to come out of it, but it's also a combination of being burnt and being dry. But as you can see, let's see here, let's see if I can find some. That all used to be water hemp. All that brown stuff was water hemp. Yeah, it's dead now. It's not coming up now. Here's some bigger. Gotta figure out what's the bean and what the water hemp is. Here's some water hemp right here. That's dead. And for those of you that didn't know, water hemp basically grows in reverse. There's a reason you can't really kill it, because when it first starts growing, the roots go out first before it sprouts up. So when you go to spray it, the roots are already out. And so it's hard to kill something with roots. I mean, without killing the beans. So when you go to spray it, since the roots are already out, when you spray it early spring, sometimes most of it hasn't sprouted up yet. So you can't really kill it when it's not up. So if you spray it and the roots are down and it's not up, it's not going to kill it, obviously. But when it comes up, if it gets so big, there's only certain chemicals that'll kill it. And some of you are probably asking, well, what's the problem with it coming up? Well, it's just like any other weed. It draws nutrients from the crop you're trying to grow. We're obviously not trying to grow water hemp. We're trying to grow soybeans. And so when it comes up in between the rows, it's drawing nutrients from the ground to grow that. And when it gets so big, it's drawing even more nutrients, and it's becoming the dominant factor. And also when it gets so big, it will shade the beans down here in between the rows. It will shade the beans, and it'll come up to like so tall, it can grow up to 8 feet tall. And so it shades the beans and the beans don't grow, along with it taking nutrients out of it. So that's not good. We want to kill the water hemp and have the beans grow, obviously. So I think this last round definitely got all the water hemp, because I mean, even the grasses in between here are dead. So it definitely got it. I mean, and you can see, if I go down here, you can see this is the muck. This corn is the muck, so we planted it later, so it's not as tall. But this is the shortest corn we have. But you can see where it drifted over and it killed this corn. Or it definitely stunted this corn. So that's how hot it was. So that's, other than that, the bean field is doing pretty good. It was all of our bean fields that had water hemp in them that we've never been able to kill. But I think we finally got it, and at least right now, and the beans are looking pretty good. When they get out of this burnt period, they'll look really good, I think. So, and like the corn I just told you, the corn is just like corn. I don't know, it doesn't has weeds or whatever, but corn is more strong. I don't know what the word is, but more durable than beans, and they can hold up to a lot more than what beans can. So really, you don't have to worry about weeds is bad with those. I think we sprayed the corn one time, and so yeah, and that was after anhydrous. When you put anhydrous in the ground, everything grows. But you can see right here, I think Grandpa forgot a patch or something when he sprayed, or missed a patch, because it's all green right here. It's all very green right here. There's no beans burnt or anything, or no weeds burnt. So he must have forgot a patch. But water hemp is definitely not a good thing to soybeans, but you gotta do what you gotta do to try to kill it. Try to get rid of it so you can get the best bean crop out of your field as you can. So that's what's going on with the crops. It's like July 20th. So that's how the crop's doing. Pretty good overall. Beans a little burnt, but overall they're doing pretty good. So that's gonna be the end of this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next video.